Welcome students for online classes. So today we'll continue with the chapter 4 presentation of data. In the earlier session what did we study? We studied about the textual presentation of data. We studied about the types of tabular presentation of data, and in this session we'll study the parts of the table, how the table can be made, what kind of parts are there. So the tabular presentation of data and the parts of the table. First, what is table? Table is a systematic arrangement of statistical data in rows and columns. So the rows will be the horizontal arrangements and the columns will be of the vertical arrangements. So these are the parts of the table. So table number, title of the table, captions and column headings, stubs or row heading, body of the table, unit of measurement, footnote and source note. So first one is about the table number, which is very much important. Why is this thing made? Table number is assigned to a table for identification purpose and easy reference for the future. So what happens when you put table number, or if you when you go through your textbook, there will be many tables, so there will be differentiation in the tables, maybe 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. All these things are the identification of the table. By this we will get to know what kind of table we are in studying purpose. So when I come to your marks, so what happened at this point of time, what was there? The main and important thing under the identification of your marks from each other was the register number, so that can be the table number for your particular purpose. So why, if we can differentiate from one particular person to another, it's where should it be written? It should be written on the top of the table. If more than one table is presented, it is the table number that distinguishes one from another. So if you see in your textbook, what happens, there are n number of tables. So how will you distinguish from one table to another? So every table are not the same, so there will be many. So there will be 1.1, there will be 2.5. All these numbers are the distinguished thing or the differentiation thing which differentiates from one particular thing, from one particular table to another. For example, table number 4.5 can be read as the fifth table of the fourth chapter. So 4.5 can be read as the fourth chapter of the fifth table. It will be easier for us to understand that this particular table is situated and in this particular chapter, in this particular page, which will be easier. Next one is about the title of the table. Every table must be given suitable title. It should usually appear on the top of the table. Why the title name is given? With the glance of the table you will get to know whether what kind of thing is it. We can see, is it the timetable, is it the mark sheet, or is it any kind of other things, or maybe any kind of scholarship table. All these things we will get to know. So I've given an example based upon the population of India according to the workers and non-workers based upon the gender and the location. So this particular title of the table is given, so which is very precise, which is very easier for you to get to know what kind of table you need to look into. So I will give you an example. When you write a leave note, there will be a kind of subject. So where you write, you might be sick, you might want to take leave because because of your friend's marriage, or because of your relatives marriage. So by seeing it a subject, we'll get to know what you have written into the body. So in the same way, the title of the table will also tell the things into the same. With the glance of the thing, we are reading into the population, or we are getting into know about what kind of members have been worked or non-working people under the gender basis. So this is the title of the table. Next one is about the captions, or it can also be called as column headings. So captions are the vertical column headings. Vertical in the sense, these are the vertical column headings. The headings must be in brief and comprises of units and measurements. So what happens, these are the column headings which will be given. What was our title? Our title was about the workers and the non-workers who work based upon the population and based upon the gender. So there is gender, there is location, there are workers, there are non-workers, and the total, the unit of measurement, all these things. So what happens, what kind of unit of measurement will be on based upon your marks, based upon your time, based upon the marks which you have got, the unit of measurement is the marks. Based upon the marks, what happens, you will get to know to what extent you have gained in some subjects. So that is known as captions. What will be the captions in your marks list? The captions here will be the subject name, maybe economics, maybe business, maybe accountancy, maybe Kannada, maybe English, maybe computer science, basic maths. All these things will be the column headings, which is also known as captions. Okay, next thing is about stubs or row heading. Stubs, what does stubs mean? It is a title of the horizontal rows. Okay, so the box over the stub on the left of the table gives the description of the stub contents. Whatever you want to write here, before to that, what you need to do, you need to make a segregation. What kind of segregation? Based upon these things, you will be filling the body of the table. So these are the row headings. These are the row headings which you will be writing. Based upon the row headings or based upon the stubs, what happens, you can fill the body of the table or the contents of the table. So this is about the row headings. Next one is about the body of the table, which is the most important thing. So what happens, body of the table is the main part and it contains the actual data. Till now we studied what is the column headings. Column headings is also very much important because we need to know, when I coming to your marks list, it is very much important for me to know for which marks what subject is been given. Even it is very much important for me to know about the row, maybe for which name, for maybe for the which kind of subject, all these things. So main thing which I can tell is about the marks or the body of the table which is present. So maybe I have got 25 in economics, maybe I have got 30 in accountancy. All these things will be kept under the body of the table. This is an important part of the table which shows the number of frequencies or respective stubs and captions. Based upon the respective stubs and based upon the captions, we will get to know the actual data which is present in the body. So that is about the body of the table, which is the actual value which will be present in the table. Next one is about the unit of measurement, which is very much important. The unit of measurement of the figures in the table, that is in the actual data, should always be stated along with the title if the unit does not change throughout the table. Maybe for example, if you want to know about the productivity, you should write maybe in the tons. Maybe if you want to write in rupees, maybe it should be crores, it should be lakhs. What happens normally in the body of the table, when I come here, I cannot write 38 lakh here, the 000 where I cannot write 5 zeros, maybe 7 zeros for crores. So it will be very difficult. So because of this, what do? Because of this, we give the unit of measurement which will be easier. Here I cannot tell that it is 38 crore, it is 36 crore, so it will be very difficult. So because of this, if I mention like this, even if I write the values like this, it will be very much easier for me to ascertain or for me to read. So if there are different units for different rows and columns, these two things should be mentioned in the stubs and captions. For example, for this particular column I will be writing crores, for this particular column I will be writing lakhs. So you need to mention what kind of thing should be presented in that particular row or column. That is known as unit of measurement. Next one is about the footnote. Footnote explains the specific feature of the data content of the table which is not self-explanatory and has not been explained earlier. So in this particular example, what happened, we have not explained that it is been rounded up to the nearest crore. What was the unit of measurement? Our unit of measurement was in crore. So at this particular point of time, what am I supposed to write? Under the footnote, you can either write figures need to be rounded to the nearest crore. Why? Because if I get 38 lakh or 38 crore and 45 rupees, I will be rounding up to only 38 crore. So this is one of the basic example under the footnote. Or even in the marks, you can even write in the footnote that this particular marks is been wrongly written, so please check the revised statement. All these these things can be written under the footnote. This is about the footnote. Lastly, and the last thing is about the source note. It is the brief statement or phrase indicating the source of data presented. Source of data in the sense from where the data is being collected. Source note is generally written at the bottom of the table. Okay, so what will it tell or what will it predict? It will tell where the data, whatever data I had shown, maybe about the workers, maybe about the non-workers, all these things was taken into consideration from the census of India from 2001. So at this point of time, if you have the reports, it is well and good. So at some point of time you will be having no reports. So what will you do? Normally everybody will go to Google, everybody will search. So at this point of time you can copy the link from the Google and you can put into the source node. So that is known as source node. From where you have collected the data, all these things should be given in the source node, so that it will be easier for the people who checks into this particular presentation of data, so that they check the data, is it actually there in that particular source or not. So this is about the source node. So from where or from which particular thing you have taken the data, or collection of data is being made from which particular source, that is under the source node. So these are some of the parts of the table which is very much important for you to keep in mind while creating or while presenting a kind of tabular presentation. So this is the overall presentation of data under the tabular presentation. So this is a kind of data. What I want you to do, this where table number is present, title is present, column headings or captions, rows, the source node, the footnote, the body of the table, the unit of measurement, everything is present. So this is about the presentation of data in the tabular form. So the assignment part, what is tabulation? What are the parts of the table and explain. And what I want you to do is that I want you to create a table as it is in the sense, I want your own table number, I want your own title, I want your own rows, headings, the body of the table, the unit of measurement, the source node, footnote, from where you have taken everything you should do by your own. This is the assignment for today. Okay, so thank you students.